Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So, we still have an epidemic of Pébrine. Investment pool is still large, but not increasing in size too much. I wonder if we want pneumatic tools in here, and I think the answer is yes, but we don't need it urgently. Just going to hit that button, cue that into the end of the queue here. Now, we did increase the size, the production methods for our power sector. So let's take a quick look at how power is doing in our country. It's actually reasonably affordable, which means I can afford to go to slightly higher, to more power-intensive methods for some of these buildings. We already went to automatic, to sawmills. We did not go to electric sawmills. Let's hit that button. And that's going to allow us to export a ton of wood to the world market, which is nice. It'll allow us to undercut all the other wood interests in the world. So, from here, and have we gotten logging camps down in employees? Let's try that. Oh, they don't like that. Go back to horse-drawn. I think this also means we're more productive producing more hardwood. Yeah, definitely seems that way. Alright, perfect. So let's take another quick look at wood versus hardwood comparison. Alright, they're right next to each other, which is nice. We are bringing in some hardwood from the world market. We'll go ahead and tariff that to make things easier for our own wood-producing buildings. So that'll be very nice. Now, what does that do to our power situation? Not bad. Could stand to have some more power plants in South Tyrol, Romagna, Savoy, and Abruzzo. So let's build them. North Tyrol, Savoy, South Tyrol, Savoy, Romagna, and Abruzzo. I'll go ahead and build 2 levels each. I should be using the Alt key. 2. Romagna, 2. And Abruzzo, 2. Because the other ones I forgot to throw them at the top, I'll throw them at the top now. Why are these ones slower? Reduce construction efficiency? In Savoy, that's probably the mountains. Yeah, that's the Alps. That's the freaking Alps. They're Alpin. Well, you're being no Alp. Alright. Did I goof this up somehow? Hold on. Umbria. Umbria's here. Oh, I missed one of these. I meant to build 2 in South Tyrol, and I ended up building... Okay, alright. Hold on. Hold, please. Build another one of these. I could definitely stand having another one in Umbria. So we'll do our textile industry next. I'm debating, actually... Oh, I got a bunch queued in Umbria. That's interesting. What was I trying to do in Umbria that I'm building up all this power? Not sure. Not sure, but it must have been smart. Because I'm so smart and good at video games. Let's see where we are world rankings-wise. We're still behind the British, but we're getting there. We've outpaced everyone else in... Or no, we haven't outpaced everyone else in GDP. Only in prestige. GDP, we're still only number 5. We're closing in on Russia, China, and India. And we're well ahead of the United States. And of course, we've got a lot of construction queued because of the electric power plant, the electrics industries. I'm going to intersperse those so that this is a more rational way of building up capacity as we build up production. I think we don't need as many of these now. Because the power plants produce more now. The synthetic solution. A group representing the industrialists has requested state investment in developing a process to create synthetic silk as an alternative to the Pébrine racked silkworm industry. And in the case that the cause for this malady is not found before our entire industry is upended, I ask you to at least consider it. One day we will be able to produce whatever we wish from a chemical still, and we shall not abandon the opportunity to begin that course with all due haste. A worthy investment in this time of crisis costs a pile of money, makes the industrialists happier and stronger, and gives us a bunch of tech progress towards art silk. Or we will not threaten the silk industry further. Industrialists mad. I'm actually going to go with the first one. Obviously it's going to cost us money, but cash flow is okay here. Now what's this? Chile wants investment rights for trade privileges. No thank you. I don't wish to give you trade privileges. Now, it's not lost on me that I am doing pretty well in overall cash flow at this point, and I'm nearly out of debt, and the solution to that situation would be to build up the construction sector. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to engage in a modest construction sector expansion. I'm not going to get too buck wild, but almost all of my construction sectors are odd numbers, and that is not okay. I think everyone can agree. Those power plants got missed. Defamatory article. A newspaper called the Lombardy Daily has printed a bigoted article about the French people living there. We can suppress the article, or we can let it be released. He threw the tabloid across the table with a huff. Absolutely vile lies, the lot of it. Alas, that won't matter to those who read it. They'll gobble it right up. He eyed the shocked maid's face, then righted himself. Of course, they'd believe it. He hadn't given them proof to the contrary. Suppress it for reduced authority, or ignore it. Minus one standard of living for French in Lombardy. I'm actually going to ignore it, because I'm going to need this authority. End of spring. The international trend of radical thought and revolutionary sentiments is coming to an end. We've seen this event a million times. The world is changing. It's kind of shocking that people are still getting Springtime of the Peoples, that their country is still getting the Springtime of the Peoples event in 1906, but I guess it is what it is. Ooh, Pébrine epidemic spreads to Great Britain. You're welcome. The rich and unstable political environment in Italy has proven attractive to political exiles and stateless people, who have begun to congregate in the coffee houses of Rome. O Rome, you flawed yet fiery jewel, where else could one see 3 different demonstrations within a 5 minutes walk? They're welcome to join the sea of voices, extra prestige, extra radicals from political movements. Leopoldo Mambretti becomes employed in Italy. Or these people make a mockery of Italy. Reduce prestige, reduce radicals from political movements. So, Leopoldo Mambretti, what are you? You're a radical aligned with the rural folk? That's fine with me. They're welcome to join the sea of voices. Give me that prestige. Delicious prestige. You know, it occurs to me, electricity shortage in Abruzzo. Well, we're building up there, aren't we? Yes, we are. It'll be fine. We'll be building those again soon enough. Ever-increasing influence. We are really getting bombarded with events this November, I gotta say. It really is election season. It's not election season, but, you know. People in America will get this joke. Members of the Anti-Russian Association have discreetly dispatched one of their members to amplify their mission in Italy's most widely read newspaper. The Anti-Russian Association has calculated with utmost mastery the dissemination of articles to secure a foothold in both the political world and the public's imagination. With great satisfaction, a lobbyist comments, there is no denying that the number and reach of newspapers is ever expanding. This approach is sure to reach influential lawmakers to favor our scheme. That sets a bad precedent, rural folk salty, or this is ingenious. Reduced legitimacy, Anti-Russian Association becomes a little happier. I'm going to say this sets a bad precedent. I can live with pissing off the rural folk a little bit, because I've generally done what they've wanted. And more importantly, I don't want to sacrifice the legitimacy, because while I've got a lot of legitimacy now, some of that legitimacy is definitely temporary. Need to build up a little bit more taxation capacity. So let's do that. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once again, we'll throw those at the top of the queue. They'll get done very fast. actually put this power plant a little bit further down with the other one in South Tyrol. Or no, that is where the one in South Tyrol is. Okay. I mean, other than the obvious location, which is South Tyrol, you fool. Alright, electricity industries in Lombardy are being finished out. Then we're going to finish out our construction of furniture manufactories in Serbia. So, how are things going in Serbia, by the by? Are they going down in liberty desire from better entanglement? A little. Definitely needing to continue to fund lobbies there. Could offer them knowledge sharing, but do not wish to. How about Greece? Greece is going thoroughly down in liberty desire now. Not as fast as I would like, but it's getting there. There are still people supporting their independence, but only a few. Netherlands and Belgium. Alright, interesting. God's will. Alright, so we're in an election cycle once again. Agrarian Party looks like they're going to take most of the vote, but the right is gaining. Conservative Catholics still doing their thing. I currently have just... Oh no, I have the Conservative Catholics in the government. God's will. Gaetano Graffini of the Catholic Church has been seen preaching in favor of the Conservative Catholics, convinced that their victory has been foreseen in God's plans. Do you think that God would not have a plan for our pious nation? Of course there's a plan. There must always be a plan. I've seen it myself, let me tell you, and I've seen it as clear as I see you all now, just before my eyes. Who else to lead this adrift government, other than those who can clearly read that plan? Who are we to stand against God's will? Catholic Church becomes slightly stronger. Such saying the nation is not ruled by God, then he becomes less popular. Or, but God surely wants the right to win. 10% momentum to the right. I'm just going to say, who are we to stand against God's will? 10% is not that much. Alright, so, we're finishing out our current round of power plants and those manufacturing industries, and then we're doing this other stuff. I have increased the size of the construction sector. Not by that much. I'm going to build up a little bit more. These are once again going to go at the top of the queue. Just a few more levels. Just to round out all the uneven levels. Oh, what's that? I've built 10 levels of construction. Oh no, it's only 6. It's only 6. I mean, I guess it's 10 total. We'll go up to a nice even 50. How about that? How about that? Venezia definitely needs more because their economy's... Actually, no. We'll build up Campania and Apulia, because Campania and Apulia are our places where we need to be doing a lot of building up. Get those done fast. Misplaced moderation. Bernardino Berti has criticized numerous decisions made by the leadership of his own agrarian party, calling Nepomuk Dolman excessively cautious and unwilling to address critical issues. I often wonder, looking at the activities that we carry out, specifically those which are most crucial to expanding our pool of supporters, whether Dolman is authentically aware of or dedicated to their success. Our fundraising is generally acceptable. The coffers of the party are without complaint, and neither are our accountants, but such resources have yet to be mobilized in a way that benefits the common good. And so my thesis is this: what does Dolman intend, and how best to change his mind on the matter? It would be best to simply do as he wishes, 20% momentum, but Dolman becomes less popular. Or make a point of improving the vigor we put forward. Less momentum, but less of a reduction in popularity. I'm going to go with the second one, because popularity affects my authority. And I'm going to need that authority for encouraging the agricultural industries once I research pasteurization, which is going to be soon. Very soon. I don't believe the Catholics are happy, which is giving me extra authority, which I do need. I'm paying quite a heavy price in authority for these, the monopolies that I've granted these companies. Ooh, oil in Mosul, wonderful. Rural values. The Agrarian Party, spearheaded by the organizing efforts of Leopoldo Mambretti, has begun a popular campaign focused on the desired preservation of rural values in an age of rapid and frightening change. You may say that it is new and better, it will give us more to buy or enrich our children, but what matters is that it is strange and different. It puts us out of work, and we did not ask for it. Stand by your community, vote for the Agrarian Party, 20% momentum, or we must build a broader coalition against these alien tendencies. Reduce momentum for the Catholics, Increase momentum for the agrarians. So that's an interesting option here. I think I'm just going to increase the momentum of the agrarian party for now. I don't want the conservative Catholics down too low. Because negative momentum can really make it hard to figure out what's going on in your body politic. I am now I'm now low in cash flow, but that's okay. That's okay because we're building up a huge economy. That's the thing we're doing. That's the thing we're doing. We're responding to the market, and we're building up a huge economy, and that's what's important. Delicious water. Still a shortage of electricity in Savoy. I believe we're building up power plants there. Are we not? I guess we're not. Savoy is here. Local prices, talk to me. Never mind. Kindly burn this letter. Lorenzo Luaras, a prominent member of the right, has been accused of gross corruption. He's the head of the industrialists. He strenuously denied all allegations until damning letters surfaced signed by him. Yes, I'm willing to discuss the contents of these letters with the committee, if only I'm given time to study the content of the letters in my personal chambers first. Of course, on my honor, I will not alter or destroy any of the evidence. Honest. Rights to stand by Lorenzo Luaras and deny everything, minus 20% momentum. Luaras should be isolated to protect the rest of the party, minus 25 popularity for him specifically. Or there are allies in the right who can speak in Luaras' defense. This is available because a character in the right has the charismatic trait, and is either a politician or an agitator. I'm going to pick the third one. That seems fun. So this is reduced momentum, but not as much as option number 1. We've got a lot of bureaucracy available. Budget is doing just fine. With plenty of ability to flex. So, we're about to discover pasteurization. And that's going to be very good, for a reason that's going to become clear in a second. There we go. So, now, let's go ahead, and just to free up some authority, we'll cut our transportation consumption tax, and then we need to encourage agriculture. So, what have we got? What states have we got affected by Pébrine? Lombardy, Venezia. I think that's all. Actually, wait. There's an easier way to do this. I can mouse so... No, I can't. Alright, beautiful. So, Lombardy, encourage agriculture industry, and Venezia. That's going to cost all of that authority we just made. But now, this is going to start increasing. Fruitful endorsements. In a gesture of solidarity with the Agrarian Party, Monaldo Bonaccorsi has encouraged his supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. For the interest of all principled people, the Agrarian Party has a consistent record of excellence. I cannot speak higher of those brave men and women moving Italy forwards under their name. He has our thanks, certainly, extra momentum, or the endorsement would best be more specific, 20% momentum but stronger rural folk. I'm gonna go with the second one. Having the Agrarian Party have high momentum is fine, but it's kind of getting out of hand, and I don't want to necessarily have our politics be built up to the point where it's totally distorted. Because I do eventually want to try to get the trade unions in power. So here's the thing. This should... We should have this checked. Anyway, this one we'll have checked by the middle of next year. And that'll be what we need in order to get this epidemic sorted out. I've built up quite a large construction sector, and I am now feeling the pain of that. Okay, here we go. So here's what we got. The root of the problem. Following research into the nature of Pébrine, we have successfully discovered both the fungus that is the cause of the disease and a method to prevent it from spreading through the silkworm farms. We are now capable of applying the discovered methods to clear out our farms of the infection. It is created there again by the bad seeds that are prepared there, or that are imported there, and the day when we raise, in a locality of great culture, only seeds deprived of corpuscles, almost all generations there will be guaranteed against Pébrine and will become, not to mention consider that this disease, clear to reproduce. We are once more at the fore of world science. A method of mitigating the Pébrine epidemic through the encouraged agricultural industry has been discovered, 10% extra prestige. Or share the cure with other nations. We still get the cure, but instead of the prestige, we get all nations affected will receive the means to resolve the epidemic in return for increased relations and the possibility of owed obligations. I'm going to put us at the forefront of science. I think the prestige matters more to us, to me, than that other stuff, because we are getting close to surpassing the British, and I want to keep it that way. So once we get to the middle of next year, we'll have Pébrine dealt with, and that will be nice. Mantero Seta will once again lead the world in high-quality silk production. Delicious water. Votes are in. Agrarian Party wins once again. I'm going to keep the government the way it is. Because I like having heckin' legitimacy out the wazoo. Now, ammunition is available. Let's take a quick look at our market once again. I know we're basically the world's leading producer of both telephones and radios. Although there's much less worldwide demand for radios than there is for telephones. Let's take a quick look at tech. I think the next thing I want is sea lanes. Oh, sea lane strategies is already spreading to us. That's wonderful, because that means that we can get scout cruisers, which are a huge upgrade over our good but not excellent torpedo boats that we have as our secondary, as our light ships. We've got another mandate for our power block, but all of our mandates are maxed out, so we're just chilling and doing our thing. How long till we have electric railways? A year and a half. Tech spread is getting a little better. Oh, right, because I didn't actually... because I queued in those freaking universities and didn't actually build them yet. They're going to take forever to get built. I probably should have done this large construction industry expansion sooner, but I just... I was feeling so tight on cash that I hadn't wanted to. I think the strategy of subsidizing our company's main buildings when they first get going is probably the meta. That's probably the meta, and I probably want to continue with it. Occitania is still a great power. Spain's still a great power. I would love to get control over them, but I can't. What can I do here? Again, I could knowledge share with Greece, but Greece seems pretty good overall. Serbia... not as entangled economically as I would like. Let's improve relations with... Oh! I can reduce payments with Moldavia. I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot. I am improving relations with them already. The play for power. Lazio. Enrico Sania, leader of the petite bourgeoisie, has made a remarkable play for power in the capital in order to secure a spot for the petite bourgeoisie within the government. However, it's not entirely clear if they should be rewarded for their novel tactics. He is an ethno-nationalist. There's only one light on in the street that leads to the petite bourgeoisie headquarters. There's also only one light on inside. There, Enrico Sania relaxes among the sumptuous mahogany furniture and velvet cushions. The lamp is identical to those that have been sent from the east. The ends justify the means, and our means are very, very justified. It's difficult not to believe him when he offers an inviting seat by his side. He should be recognized for this, stronger petite bourgeoisie, or not all is fair in love and war. Weaker and saltier petite bourgeoisie. I'm going to pick the second one. I do not want to have an ethno-nationalist heading up a major party in my delicious democracy here. That's a recipe for disaster. as many of you well know. Ah, yeah, so he just replaced Umberto Amoretti, the previous leader of the Petite Bourgeoisie. Interesting. I haven't gone on any military adventures. Obviously, Occitania has taken over a lot of Egypt. I suppose I could take over the rest of Egypt. Why don't I have diplomatic demands available? Do I not have an interest? Has my interest fallen off? No, I've got an interest. Oh, because we're stuck in a different diplomatic play. Alright, well, once these other diplomatic plays are done... Actually, I will declare neutrality in all of them. Alright, now that that's done with... 7. Or, now that they're an unrecognized power, I could turn them into a subject. Spain might step in. Netherlands might step in. I don't consider either of those a problem. Let's do it. Let's do it, friends. Obviously, it's going to give me a pile of infamy, but I think I'll be alright. It's not going to be for that long. What kind of an army does Egypt have? Not much of one. Let's just mobilize our small armies and send them to these various fronts. Yeah, Occitania really stole a bunch of Egypt. Again, I don't think anyone's going to step in to help them. Again, the Netherlands will, but I'm not at all scared of the Netherlands. They don't have much of an army. I will probably need to mobilize my actual army. That shouldn't be that big of a deal. At any rate, I don't need to do it fast. It's not a rush. I've got plenty of subjects who can cover different fronts. Alright, so... there's the Netherlands in there. I'm actually going to send one army back to Italy, just to keep things defended over there. Again, I am not scared of the Netherlands in any way, shape, or form. And you know what? Let's, I could do a bunch of return state war goals over here. That would cost me a bunch of infantry. But not that much, and that would really build up the Ottoman Empire. No, I can always do that later. This force comparison's a little curious. Do I wish to raise my conscripts on this? I think I may need to, actually. Shouldn't have raised conscripts to the main army. That was dumb. We're low on org here, because we need a new leader. Let's go with this armed forces guy, Armando Diaz. He seems nice. He is a moderate aligned with the armed forces. If you are familiar with history, you probably know who this guy is. Russia sides with Egypt. They did not seem like they were going to side with Egypt. What an interesting situation. We need to rework our situation here, because I need to fight Russia primarily. It seems this war will be more interesting than we previously assumed it would. I will definitely need to halt government construction. Let's raise taxes. I'm going to keep government construction running for now. We got multiple fronts here. I don't love the multiple fronts we've got running here. I think I need another small army. Third Corps needs another leader. We'll promote this fella. I was hoping to take us through to the end of the Pébrine epidemic, but we're very close. Alright. We'll create a new army. Leaders will take this guy. He's a market liberal. We'll need 5 units of trench infantry. Or 15. 10 units of siege artillery. 5 units of lancers. I'll throw all these barracks at the top of the queue. And then we'll bring in conscripts kind of as available. That's 10. For artillery, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. For our small armies, we have a 20 and 15 conscription pattern. So, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have just enough available here. Mobilization will turn on all the good stuff. And we'll get this army raised. So this has a likelihood of being dicey early on. I need someone to defend this front, because these two fronts have been split. Sea lane strategies are unlocked. That's very good. I'm going to improve my naval doctrine here. Where are we? Here we go. Sea lane strategies. Shazam. Now, anything else I want to add in here? I still want to keep my infamy low. Now, I could sway other countries in. If I swayed the Spanish, they want Tripolitania, though, and I don't want to give up Tripolitania. The Greeks don't want to give them another subject, so, unfortunately, it simply is what it is. I will have to simply fight the war as available. Let's mobilize this army and start raising their conscripts, and we'll place them at this front. We'll put this guy on defense for now, because his army is not really sufficient to win the battle at that front. And we'll kind of do our best. Obviously, we're buying it at a high price with building barracks right in the lead up to a war, but it simply is what it is. Wow, we're low on org for this army. Let's give this guy Diaz a few more promotions, just to get him a really large amount of command capacity. Perhaps I'll put this army on defense for now. Spain withdraws from the September Convention. Well, that's not ideal. I do not love that. So we're defending against Russia for the time being. In Egypt, we're going forward. For the Italian army, yes, they're at low capacity, but it'll be increasing. It'll be increasing over time, and that's what matters. What's their war goal? They do want to steal a bunch of territory. So we should have war support protection. We do indeed. Beautiful. All right. So as long as we're continuing to increase in strength, we will not have a problem. Now, what about this other stuff? Do I build up these... The Devil's Paintbrush. General Armando Diaz's use of dedicated machine gun teams in the Italy versus Egypt war has yielded advantageous results on the field of battle, leaving full platoons of enemies dead before they've even reached our lines. If anyone had told me that it would be possible to make a gun that would pull a cartridge belt into position, pull a loaded cartridge out of it, move it in front of the barrel, thrust it into the barrel, close the breech in a proper manner, cock the hammer, pull the trigger, fire off the cartridge, extract the empty shell, throw it out of the mechanism, feed a new cartridge into position, and do all of these things in a tenth of a second, I would not have believed it. But now I have seen it with my own eyes. Our foes fall like grass before the scythe, 10% extra defense. Or Diaz's mastery of the tool is unparalleled, he gets Stalwart Defender. I'm going to go with the second one. I just think that's sensible. I think this army Oh! You can still assign strategic objectives. You just sign them at the army level, not the individual level. All right, interesting. There's malaria prevention. That's good. Oil's been discovered in Baghdad. That's nice. 4th Italian Front is slowly gaining an organization. It's going to take some time. And they have too many of these other unit types. Gosh dang it. That's not what I wanted, but it is what it is. Cash flow is doing really rough. So we'll pause government construction, and hopefully that'll give us a lot more staying power in this thing. Alright, end of the month, we should have the Pébrine epidemic finished out, and that will be a delightful time, and the perfect time to end the episode, because we've gone a little long here. We are taking more territory in Egypt. Occitania is improving relations. Aren't you on the other side of... No, you're not on the other side of a war with me. You just seemed like you were gonna be. Socialist revolt in Japan. What an interesting situation. We are going forward here in the eastern front of the advance against Russia. I am going to set these armies to attack at this point. And there's the Pébrine epidemic. The end of the Pébrine epidemic. With diligent effort on the part of both our scientists and the silkworm farmers who applied their solution, our silk industry has recovered from the Pébrine epidemic affecting it. Our new knowledge of the cause of the disease will benefit us for many years to come. Finally, the cells were filled once again with cocoons, the worms within unwittingly undergoing the metamorphosis that would soon be cut short by a bath of boiling water. A worker passed between the racks of wooden cells, the shadow of stress almost removed from his brow. His list of tasks had been lengthened, of course, and his pay raised only fractionally, but it was certainly better than not having a job at all. A toast to our scientists, stronger and happier intelligentsia clears the Pébrine epidemic. Or reactivate our silk industries. There is no time to waste. Extra silk plantations throughput in those areas. I'm just going to say a toast to our scientists. So that'll be good. With that being said, that is the end of the episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.